Welcome to, what is this? Zane's Wrestling Bits or something. I don't know. I wanted to change the name from the debate of the week. You guys tell me below, do you think Wrestling Bites might be a better thing? Or whatever. Just Wrestling Bites, Zane's Bite, Zane's Wrestling News, the Zane News, whatever. Just leave a comment. Well, let's get to the business at hand. I got 3 things to talk about. Big Show joining AEW, NXT possibly moving to Tuesday, because it isn't confirmed yet, as well as Bobby Lashley becoming WWE Champion. I think I'll start with Bobby Lashley. I remember seeing Bobby Lashley back when he was in ECW, because he was a champion in ECW, and that's when, around the time Donald Trump was around, no matter if you hate the guy or not, he was involved in WWE wrestling. Here's the thing. It's been roughly about 17 years, roughly, that he's been around WWE, going to TNA at the time, coming back, going to Impact Wrestling, formerly known as TNA, then eventually going to WWE, and now been there for a couple of years, and now someone decided to put him into a spot that's at supposedly the top position. A lot of people are happy. I saw Just Alex, I gotta remember to say that, sorry. I saw Just Alex video talking about how he felt about Bobby Lashley. And pretty much, the way he acted at one point got me kind of upset, being part black myself. Because he was talking about, we only had 2 champions that were black in the WWE title. And he didn't want to 100% include a Mark Henry. And then when he talked about a Kofi Kingston, instead of saying, Kofi's cool, but he's not an American-born black wrestler. He could have said it like that. He wanted to just say he's not black, or he doesn't deserve the right to even have the championship because he's not an American black. And if he had owned it, that would have been more respectful. For me personally, I just don't care. If you're African descent, who cares? But Just Alex, you can check his video for Raw when it comes out. Because, was it, no, he got a separate video for Bobby Lashley, I believe. I'm not sure. No, he hasn't done it yet. He did it with the entire Raw review. You can check for yourself when he literally had to walk it back because he didn't want to say, oh, he's black. He ain't black like us. He had to walk it back because instead of saying an American-born black wrestler, because there's nothing wrong with Kofi being an African wrestler, an American-born black wrestler. That's what he wanted. He wanted an American-born black wrestler. Because you got The Rock, who's Samoan black. You got Mark Henry, who's pure black like himself as, well, let's be honest, as pure black American can be, because almost every black is mixed with white. Or mixed with Asian. Or mixed with Polish. And most of that is white. If anyone, I'm saying this to anyone who's not in this country, if you meet a black American, no matter what part of the country, if they tell you I'm pure black, you tell them you're not pure black. He says, yes, I am. I'm African. He says, well, if that's true, did your family marry someone directly from Africa? Did they literally leave the country of Africa like Ghana or Zimbabwe or Zambezi and come to the country and marry into your family? And if they say no, then you're not pure African black. You're mixed. That's how every African American is. So don't get it twisted. Unless their family came directly from Africa, married someone there, and kept doing it, they're not pure. I'm sorry I went that far, but I had to do it because of what Just Alex did. Because that truly pissed my ass off. He should have seen it for what it was. It doesn't make a difference if Kofi was born in this country or not. Kofi is black. Period. And that's what we've been wanting for years from the WWE and most wrestling promotions years ago. They didn't always use black people like that. Now, is Kofi directly from Africa? Yes, he is. He was born in Africa. Then he came to America. So for me personally, I don't care. Seeing Kofi as black, that's all that matters to me personally. It's good to see a black man there. But seeing that the attitude of Just Alex was, and look, I'm not saying I don't like Just Alex. I actually do like him. He's got a lot of great point of views. He's worked very hard for 11 years in YouTube to be a wrestling reviewer and commentator and whatever else you want to add. But that didn't need to happen. That was a little bit of a skew of, well, honestly, prejudice a little bit. And if anyone thinks that black people are prejudiced, oh baby, you don't know nothing yet. But do I think it's good that Lashley is WWE champion? It depends. Look, they got nobody to work for WrestleMania. Now, if Lashley goes to WrestleMania as champ and retains, then it'll be something different, because there's a possibility that Drew will get the title back at Fastlane. I believe he's going to Fastlane, I'm not sure. But if he retains, that is something different. It will be something fresh for the WWE going forward. Because I know a lot of people are not too happy how Drew was booked, and they're not very interested in seeing Drew regain the title back. Within a year, he'll regain it 3 times. Within almost a whole year. Since the time he got the title, he's lost it twice. He lost it once, then he got it back, and then he lost it again. So is he going to win it again? That'll be a 3-time champ within a year almost. So a lot of people are not too fond of that. But then, if he does get it back, what is he going to do then? What is Drew McIntyre going to do? He's got no one to challenge him. The roster looks terrible. If they got so many people in the back that's so deep, their roster, they barely show anybody new. They barely booked them. And pretty much it's boring. So honestly, the best option is to keep the title on Lashley. Now, if Brock Lesnar comes back, that's if. The match should be Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. That would be the only option you would have. Because as it stands right now, there's no one else that's better than Brock Lesnar. And for when it comes to Drew McIntyre, if he does get the title of Fastlane and then goes to WrestleMania, there's only one person he could face, and that would be a John Cena. That's if he would come back, and there's no guarantee he will. But this just is a bad time for the WWE. It's one of the reasons why I stopped watching. It's so bad. They have a huge roster, and they choose not to book them. Look what they're doing to their people. They banned them off Cameo. They banned them off Twitch. They can't even speak a certain way now. If they do, they get themselves in trouble. They got nothing. Period. These people are making almost no money other than what they're getting for the guarantee in their contract. All those other things were supposed to supplement for them. They're not getting merch now. The merchandise they're getting is almost nothing. The WWE is making huge money. So if their contract is up, if they resign, they're idiots. I'm just being honest. If they get frustrated after they resign, whose fault is it? It ain't ours. But that's just me. Now, let's move on to Paul White of AEW now. Now, many people thought that Big Show would never leave the WWE. He would be a lifer, just like The Undertaker and a couple of others. How do I feel about that? What do I think he can contribute to AEW? And I'm sure a lot of people say, oh no, not another WWE guy. Look, as I've told you guys, it's not the point of where they came from. It counts on what they can give to the company and give to the younger talent. As long as they're booked properly. When it comes to Paul White, out of the biggest guys who ever wrestled, Diesel, Undertaker, Kane, you could say Andre the Giant easily. You can say Big John Studd easily. Great Gonzalez was not that good. Great Khali was not that good. But you can easily say in his heyday, because he's 1 year younger than me. I'm turning 50 this year. He's going to turn 49 this year. It pretty much, I think he just turned 49. My mistake. I think he just turned 49. And I'm about to turn 50. But when it comes down to it, he is one of the most well-known and 2 companies that were red hot in the 90s and early 2000s going into the 2010s. Has he been booked right? Hell no. For over a decade, he's been booked like crap. But it doesn't take away from his being well-known. If he's going to be generally a commentator, counting if he can commentate well enough, that'll be good for the company. Something new when it comes to this AEW Rising. Another dark show. called Rising. I believe that's what it's called. So hopefully he will give something to the company. Now, going in the ring, should he? Yes, but only in a limited capacity, not just because he's too slow, he's too cumbersome, he won't sell. This is not about that. This is about making sure that if he goes in the ring, it's for a special occasion. Unlike what the WWE did, they booked his ass into oblivion. Face, heel, face, heel, face, heel. So many terms. He was a joke. He was a total, complete joke like that. It sucked. They kept changing him so much. Within maybe 6 months, he flipped maybe twice. In this situation, I doubt they'll do that. So whenever he goes in the ring, that will be good, that it will mean something, hopefully. Finally, the most important thing. We have Lance Archer in the back. We have, well, there's a lot of people in the back he could help. Hopefully. You got Miro, you got Lance Archer, you got Luchasaurus, you got more than a few people that are big guys that could gain from, or large guys, not big guys, but large guys that could gain something from it. 10 of the Dark Order could gain something because he's not a small guy either. And anyone that goes on AEW Dark, this guy has been in the business long enough that can tell you how you look at the camera, how you perform in the camera, how you talk in your promos. Now, Big Show was never great on his promos, let's be honest, but he knew people who were great. And you may not be able to be great on the mic, but maybe you can teach someone to be great on the mic. And this is something that could be passed on. He could be a good commentator, hopefully. He can go in the ring, but limited, which hopefully will give a storyline some help and give some talent some help. And he could be a trainer in the back, or someone that can teach not only how to work a match in the ring. It doesn't have to be fast-paced or slow-paced. It could be some type of pace. He could teach them what he learned about promos. He could teach them how it means to act silly or act angry, because there were certain times when he flipped face and heel. He did a damn good job. And others were because of the writing was so freaking crappy. It was a piece of shit. So this could be great for AEW if they know how to use him properly. Finally, this is the interesting thing that not many people are going to understand that are into NXT. The rumor is NXT is moving to Tuesday night, and it will be a direct competitor to Impact Wrestling if they are going to be at 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Now, I heard Just Alex's talk about it. He really believes that NXT going to Tuesday night, and it's his opinion. This is my opinion of what he said and my own thoughts. But his general opinion is, yes, if this is true, it's a great thing. Because when it comes to taking Impact out of the equation, NXT going to Tuesday, they will not be in competition and trying to steal fans from AEW. They'll have their own fan base on that particular day. They won't have to worry about another show being on at the same time. Yes, I know Impact is there, and MLW is also... No, MLW is on Wednesday, sorry. Impact Wrestling is there, I know, and I'll have my thoughts on that in another video, but essentially speaking, having NXT on Tuesday will be a better thing, and he does believe that the product will not be good at first, but maybe 2 months in, maybe 3, it will be better, and it will shine again like it used to be, like he loved. That was his opinion and my interpretation of it. Now, what are my thoughts on finding out about AEW not going to have competition anymore and NXT going to Tuesday night? I'm going to give it to you like this. When they made the announcement that NXT was going off the network and going on television, we knew there was only one reason. It was Vince. This wasn't Triple H pitching it. No, we know this. Triple H did not pitch this to Vince. Vince made the decision that he wanted to make sure a rival company could not get anywhere, so he put his developmental on USA. Because he could have easily switched, by that time, when it was already announced, it was going to be in October, you could have easily had SmackDown on Wednesday nights again. Or kept, wait a minute, was SmackDown on Tuesday or at that time or Wednesday? I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. Either, if it was on Tuesday, it could have been switched to Wednesday, and you could add SmackDown on Wednesday night going against AEW. Or if it was already on Wednesday, could have just left it there. Did not need to put it Friday unless the networks demanded it. If it didn't need to be, it could have stayed on Wednesday, and that would have been the end of it. But he chose to put his developmental on Wednesday night. And then worse, instead of realizing what made NXT what it was, leave the talent there. All of them. Leave Keith Lee there. Leave Matt Riddle there. Leave, well, how many people have gone there? Rhea Ripley. And everyone else that have gone to the main roster within a year and a half there. They should have been either kept there or the ones that were already on the main roster put back there because they were known to be so popular. No. He took a lot of wrestlers from NXT and from also Karrion Kross getting hurt. They lost a lot of their really strong, very important characters. On top of that, the booking. If they were 1 hour, they could have made something out of it. And they should have stayed 1 hour. But I'm sure Vince ordered the 2-hour show because that's what AEW was doing. So this ruined how Triple H booked. And on top of it, let's be honest, the booking, that's not Triple H booking. That's not Shawn Michaels booking. And no matter what you think about Road Dogg books like them. This was about Vince ordering them to book the way they did. That's what this is about, Vince. This is all about Vince. Vince tried to nail AEW, and it didn't work. No matter, even if it's a 200,000 to 300,000 gap between them, or 50 or 60,000 gap in the ratings, AEW, NXT. Very rarely have come here, sometimes, and they was almost never here. Maybe 3 or 4 times they had been here. He realized it didn't work, and now he decided to move it to Tuesday. Now, will it work? No. Everyone's going to think now NXT is going to be better on Tuesday. They do not understand what just happened. What this comes down to, if they revert to 1 hour, 1 hour, I'm about to say 1 year, 1 hour, and the older style returns, then this is great. But if I'm right, they're going to stick at 2 hours, and everything's going to stay exactly the same way it is because Vince wants it that way. Just because they move to another time and another day does not mean things will get better. Impact Wrestling moved around more than a few times. So did SmackDown move around more than a few times. And only briefly with SmackDown did they ever have good storylines because of Ryan Ward. Impact Wrestling had a couple of times they moved and a couple of good storylines, but in general they've stayed the same way. They haven't changed. Only now have they changed to a certain extent because of the new bookers of Scott and Don, and because of what's going on with AEW and now New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is still a question if anything good will come out of it for Impact Wrestling, being the second oldest known promotion amongst the three. Of New Japan is the oldest, Impact Wrestling the second oldest, and then you got AEW, that's the child. There's no guarantee they're going to gain anything. No guarantee at all. So when it comes down to it, this is what I see. If it's true, NXT, I forgot the thing. Because it kind of ups. You know what? I'm going to forget about what I said about saying something about Impact Wrestling. I'm going to say it now. Impact, as it stands right now, if NXT moves there, they have to move away from Tuesday night. Because unless they get some really good help from AAA, even though they're not part of it, because Black Tyru is there, they need more from AAA. They need more from AEW, and they definitely need more from New Japan Pro Wrestling. If they get more of their stars to either sign with them or work on there, they stand a decent chance of fighting against NXT. As it stands where it is now, they're done. I'm saying it now, and I'm saying this to all of my subscribers. You think NXT is crap. In most cases, it is right now. But you compare it to Impact Wrestling. The women's division is garbage. The tag division is garbage. The world title scene is sparse. The most they've had, that had the biggest gain, was when Kenny Omega came to them. And if they do not do more with AEW, if this is as far as they go, because if Kenny doesn't take the world title away from either Rich, or if Moose wins it and he wins it by cheating, they have nothing. Nothing. And I'm saying it clearly, nothing. They will be destroyed. Yes, they're on another network that's in another country. It does make a difference. When people hear about NXT, a lot of them who are on Access TV, they'll go watch NXT unless there's something big there, which I hope will be. They're going to be dead meat. And the only option they're going to have is going to be moving to Thursday night instead of staying on Tuesday. Because they can't move to Wednesday, because they'll be nailed by AEW. They can't move to Monday because of Raw, even with its terrible ratings. And they can't move to Friday because of SmackDown. They'll have to move to Thursday. Either that, or they change their time on Tuesday from 8 to 10 and then go from 10 to 12 like they did on Fridays, which was a dead time. This is just my point of view on this. And I do hope you enjoy this. Zane's wrestling news, I guess. Peace.